Hello world. Think it's almost game over. So I tested my little sister this morning and she tested positive for COVID. My mum and granddad tested positive yesterday. I felt like rubbish for days, very similar to how I felt after I had my first jab. And I keep testing myself and I keep on coming back negative. But I'm convinced it's there. I don't know why I keep on testing negative. I'm convinced I'm positive. I keep on testing negative. I don't know. I don't know enough about things. Maybe if I do a PCR, I will test positive. I don't know exactly how it works, other than yeah, paracetamol sorts me out though. It's just I've had a headache. I know I've had a tickly throat. These are all things that are supposed symptoms. The annoying thing is, I'm supposed to be moving to London in what's the day today? Well, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. I'm supposed to be moving to London. Um, Luckily, I arranged my tenancy to start like 2 weeks before. So I kind of am hoping, I'm going to do another lateral flow later. I'm hoping I test positive then. I just don't know when my 10 days isolation starts from then. The internet advice reckons 10 days from the start of your symptoms, and my symptoms started the same day as my granddad felt ill, and then he tested positive the day after. So do I start my 10 days from there, or do I start my 10 days from the point of actually testing positive? The internet reckons from symptoms. Because even if you test positive, if your symptoms start later, then you have to start your 10 days from there. So yeah, I think I need to get clarity from a medical professional about that. But what it does mean is if I do test positive, like today, when I do my second test, oh wait, no, I don't know. It is thin as fuck, but that's definitely a second line. But it's really faint. But I think even a faint line means you've got COVID. I've got another test still, so I'll do one later in the day, see if it comes back thicker. But yeah, game over. COVID's got me. So yeah, I think I need to go have a PCR test done. I don't know if that's something you need to have done if you test positive on a lateral flow. And yeah, that way I can find out whether I start my 10 days from whenever my symptoms started a few days ago or from today when I test positive. But luckily, I left a 2 week gap between the start of my tenancy and me starting my job in London. So this shouldn't throw a spanner in the works, and it should make things easier because that means both of my mum and my granddad will both be free or have cleared their 10 days as well at a similar time to me. So they can move me to London again rather than me having to move myself because my car's too small and there's nowhere to park. I needed somebody to come with me, sit in the car whilst I take my stuff out because it's London, my place doesn't come with parking. All stocked up on COVID supplies. This should hopefully get me through to the end of my isolation period. Somebody's just being a moaner as usual. What's the matter? But yeah, this should hopefully get me through to the end of it. Hi guys, so I'm about 5 days, 6 days, I don't know, Tuesday, what day is it today, Saturday? I'm about 5 days, I think, into my COVID isolation period. I did want to document the whole thing, but this thing hasn't been charged, and I felt so rough the last few days. My stuff's all packed, so I could bring myself to actually sort through my stuff to find the charger. But today, I'm showered, I've cleaned my room, I feel a lot better today comparative to the last few days. Like my first 2 days, when my symptoms started, it was just a bit of a headache and feeling like especially the first day, I was exhausted, so I just slept most of the first day when I had symptoms start, but I wasn't testing positive. But then the day after my symptoms started, my granddad and mum both tested positive, but I still wasn't testing positive, and then the day afterwards I tested positive. So the day that I tested positive and then the day after were both really bad days, or the evenings. It's at the night time when things get worse. The fever comes on then, and like clockwork, every 4 hours my head feels like it's going to explode when the paracetamol runs off. Literally, down here, the side, I've just got loads and loads of empty packets of paracetamol because I've just been eating it like Smarties the last few days. But today, it's a lot better. One thing I've been meaning to do, but haven't done yet, is a PCR test, because the lateral flow said I have COVID, and I had all the symptoms, or not all the symptoms, I could tell I had COVID basically. So I didn't see the point of doing a PCR test when it's very apparent that I had it by the fever at night and the head splitting, etc. And the fact that everybody in my house has tested positive and everyone else in the house has got a positive PCR apart from me and one of my sisters, because I'm the one that ordered ours but haven't done them yet because I've just not felt well enough. So I was not going to do it altogether because I didn't see the point. But then I remember a conversation that I had with a friend. I'm not too sure how true it is, but they suggested to me that you can test positive for like up to 3 months after having COVID. Even though you're not positive, just because, I don't know, science. I'm not too sure if that's true. So unless I do my PCR test to actually have it on record that I've had it and recovered from it, if I have to have a COVID test for my new job at any point, I'm going to test positive. So I actually need to do the PCR test so that there's evidence that I've had it and recovered from it, rather than me actually having it in the future. If that makes any sense, I don't know. But yeah, what do we have in this bag? So by looks of it, it is pretty similar to the lateral flow test by the looks of things, in terms of how you take it, how you administer the test, yeah. So you've got a big little, I don't know what to call it, a stick. Does it have a name on it? It says stick. It says stick on it. So you have a big stick, and I don't know if you can see, but it is bigger than the ones that come with the lateral flows. It's got a bigger head, so it might be a bit more uncomfortable. So you do the same thing, you know, the twisting at the back of the tonsils and the right to the back of the nose thing, like you do with the lateral flow. But this time you then just put it into a little test tube, break off the stick at the breakage line, and then you post it away in this kit that you've been sent. So I need to do that ASAP and get this posted because it's a weekend, and I just need there to be evidence to the fact that I had COVID. It's bloody humongous comparatively to the other one. Look at that. Okay. Let's do this. I'll do the other side as well. Yeah, it's not even, yeah, that's a lot worse than the other one. It's humongous, and this is about to have to go up my nose. Okay, so I don't think it has to go up as high as the other one, because that ain't going any further than that. Am I missing something? Oh, no. Okay. Aha. The things, you take this bag and you add this like pad for any spillages and your test tube. So the box has assembly instructions in it. I've just got to try to figure this out now with a weird brain. And then I don't know what this sticker was for. I've not seen it anywhere. It's just a plain white sticker. I don't know. Okay. Let's just pretend like it doesn't exist because I don't know what they need it for. But yeah, that is my PCR test done. I need to now go put that in a post box, which is inconvenient in itself. But needs must. I need evidence to this situation. But yeah, I'll keep you updated with the rest. Hopefully, I stay feeling like I do now. I'm hoping not to revert back to feeling like rubbish, because it was not fun. Anyway, catch you again later. Update. So yeah, I did end up feeling perfectly fine for the rest of my isolation period. It now ended 14 minutes ago, so I am a free human again. But yeah, I think I literally had 4 days really of experiencing any symptoms. Those were the 2 days before testing positive and the 2 days after. But other than that, I felt perfectly fine. And even when I felt rough, it was nothing that a bit of paracetamol didn't sort. I had no respiratory issues or anything. And I did actually have to go take another PCR test because the poster one I did took forever. So I went and did one, went and had one done at a drive-through clinic. And then eventually my postal one came back as well. And they both came back as positive. So I now have that record in case there was any complicated, weird, sciencey stuff. I don't know. Just in case I needed it on record. So yeah, just don't lock me down again because it was boring. It was worse. It wasn't worse than lockdown because it was a lot shorter than lockdown. But I was prepared to leave. I wasn't supposed to still be in Devon. I was supposed to be living my life as an independent, free adult again in London. But why COVID has just been an inconvenience at every single hurdle these past 2 years. First, it was stopping my exams from going through in university, closing down the way they should have, so it disrupted the whole end of my degree, then disrupted my graduation, so I didn't get the formal graduation. Obviously, it affected a lot of other people a lot worse. Like, these are really, irrelevant issues speaking for me personally, because they're minor inconveniences, but obviously this is my perspective on Rona just being an inconvenience. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. I imagine my next video will probably be a move-in vlog, so you'll get to see me move and first look on my new room in London. And then in London, I am just going to eat the entire city, and that will be the majority of my content, is just me eating London. Bye.